Thank you for visiting Boutique Bridal. This is part 3 of the lace capelet tutorial. I would like to thank Fabric Wholesale Direct for being our sponsor. To get started, here are the ordinaries you will need in order to complete this project. If you need more time, feel free to press pause and review the list. The beautiful scalloped edge is going to be the main feature of the lace capelet. So I'm just going to make sure that the lace edge is lined up. To create a beautiful front design in which you will see later, I'm going to find a full flower in which I will cut in half. I'm going to pin the fabric to keep it from shifting while I am working on it. Next, I'm going to mark and cut straight down the center of the flower all the way to the other end of the fabric. I will now start on the front of the lace capelet. I'm going to line up the pattern along the edge of the lace and line up the hem to the scalloped edge. Next, I'm going to pin the pattern onto the lace and then cut. You will remove the pins and the paper pattern, and now you will have the front beautiful design of the lace capelet. For this part, we are going to create the back portion of the capelet. You are going to completely unfold the lace and then fold it in half from the other end. Taking the front paper pattern, I'm going to draw half a box and then right back fold along the edge of the pattern. Now take the pattern for the back of the neck and just tape it back onto the paper. Now you're going to lay this on the fold and make sure the hem is lined up on the scallop edge. Pin and cut. Now remove the pins and paper and you will have the back of the lace capelet. Next, unfold and you will have a beautiful continuous scalloped edge. With right sides together, you're going to lay the front of the lace on top of the back. Next, you're going to pin and sew along the sides of the lace capelet. Now we're going to do any fittings and alterations that may be needed. I'm going to wear the capelet and pin it down the center. I'm going to check and see if there are any gaps along the side of my arms. You may need a friend for this part, but you're just going to pin where there is excess fabric. Sew along the pin markings and then just trim it down to ½ an inch away from the seam line. For this portion of the tutorial, we're going to be sewing on the bias tape for the hem. Starting with one side of the capelet, I'm going to cut an extra inch on each end of the bias tape. Next, iron each end down to match the length of the capelet. Now I'm going to pin the bias tape to the underside of the lace and then sew ½ an inch seam. From the front side, I'm going to untuck the bias tape, fold it towards the hem, and then basically roll it over and pin. Fold it towards the center and then roll it over and then pin. Repeat this process until you get to the very end. And then you're just going to sew down along the bias tape hem. Repeat this process for the other side. Using the same steps, we're going to pin the bias tape to the neckline on the wrong side of the lace. Untuck, fold towards the center, roll, and then pin. Next, you will sew along the neckline, and you are complete with hemming the capelet. To clean up the neckline edge, I'm just going to tuck the excess fabric inside the opening, and then sew along the edge to close it up. And then I will repeat this for the other side. For the final phase, we're going to sew the closure using a hook and eye. Start by sewing the closure to one side of the capelet, and then the hook to the other side. And for the final step, just sew on a decorative button and you are complete. Well, thank you for visiting, and I hope you get inspired to create something extraordinary out of the ordinary. Don't forget to use the coupon code UTIQUEBRIDAL to get $5 off your purchase of $35 or more while shopping at fabrichwholesaledirect.com. Enjoy! If you would like to view the tutorial on how to make the custom size pattern, then click on the video that says Part 1. If you would like to learn how to create the bias tape, please click on Part 2. If you'd like to learn how to make the birdcage veil, please click on my silly face.